joining me this evening. And the topic tonight is, are our children in danger? And the answer is yes and no. Yes, because sometimes I do feel as guardians, as parents, we have become blind to some of the issues that are happening in this world. No, because there's some parents and some people who are taking care of their children and are very vigilant. Now we're getting to a place where we are seeing a lot of ills happening to our children. We're seeing so many demonic things happening. We are seeing our children do some things that are not good at all. I mean, think with me for a minute. We are seeing children having sex all over the place. We are seeing children doing things that do not bring any glory to anybody. The question is, what are you doing yourself? What are you doing yourself? You know, many parents in this day and age have become, what I would say, too busy making money. And this is a topic that is very, very close to my heart. So many parents have become too busy trying to invest for their children and not investing in their children. We have become too laid back with our own things. We have become too busy trying to make it happen for ourselves, because it's like we said, there's a rat race. People are trying to make ends meet and this and that. And you ask yourself, what about the generation that will take over the baton? And we're at a generation now, you got to understand, especially if you're a parent to a teenager, you got to get to a place where you understand that there are people out there who really are known to your children, are known to our children, but do not have the best of intentions. We have heard of cases where children have been molested, children have been abused sexually and in many other ways, and the greater percentage of people who end up abusing these children are not strangers. I'm not saying strangers are also not culprits, but the majority, the greater percentage, is that children are abused by people known to them, because then they bank on the place of trust. They are like, oh, but that is uncle so-and-so, that is cousin so-and-so, and you don't realize, oh, but that's dad's friend, that's mom's friend. And you don't realize these are people who have very, very dangerous motives. These are people who have been anointed by the devil to come and cause mayhem and leave a scar that may have an extremely, actually a dangerous, lasting effect. So as parents, let's get back to the basics, and let's get back to a place where we do not become too easy. Let's get back to that place of being vigilant. Let your eyes be open, because now children are doing things under our very noses. I mean, we have seen videos, and the funny thing is, it's parents who are actually forwarding these videos. You know, we're seeing videos of where parents are seeing young people. And the problem is, we think our children are the best. We're seeing people forwarding in our WhatsApp and everything. People are forwarding videos of young boys and girls having sex, and the most heartbreaking video is you get a brother and a sister shooting a porn movie, and I'm talking about in this place. This is Kenya, you know, and it's happening the world over, but allow me just to bring it down to Kenya. And then you ask yourself, where are the morals where a brother and a sister can record a porn movie, and then it's somebody else, whoever, their friend who was recording that act, sends it all over the place. And as parents, we keep saying, oh, the children of these days are spoiled, you know, but we don't seem to remember that we also have children. Maybe it's easy to point fingers at somebody else's child and ignore the risk your own child is at or exposed to, because we are too busy, you are too busy doing your own thing. You have every chama you are attending, you have all these parties and all chama, you have these meetings for business partners and all that. But what about our children? By the way, our children are in grave danger. Our children are being molested by workers. Our children are being molested by people who have been entrusted to take care of them. Our children are being exposed to drugs, sometimes by rogue teachers, rogue relatives, and you wonder what's going to happen. We are seeing, that is why when you go to university, you are seeing young girls dating married men, politicians, CEOs, and people of financial abundance and power. whether it's corporate, political, or religious power. Well, it didn't start when they go to campus. It's something that started in the younger years, in the yesteryears, and this is due to the absence of parents, due to the absence of authority. That's why, if you're not careful, we are losing a generation. We are losing a generation. It's absolutely sad. Do you know what your children are doing? Do you know what your children are watching? I'm going to ask you another question. Do you know who is your child's friend? And how do they behave? What are they introducing your children to? And even as we think that, also ask yourself, is your child a good friend? Or is your child the kind of child who other parents warn their children about? Problem is, in this day and age, when we get to a place, we wonder if you find somebody, your neighbor's child, doing something. You find your neighbor's child doing something, and then you discipline them. Do you know if that child reports to the father or the mother, they will come knock on your door and say, what have you done to my child? Who told you to pinch my child? It's not your responsibility. Gone are the days where the children are being raised by the society, by the village. You know, sometimes other people may see your children doing some things and they know this is wrong, but because you're at work, your children are doing these crazy things. And they cannot even help you in disciplining your children. Why? Because if they do, you will sue them. If they do, you will sue them. So why can't we get back to that place? Thank you guys for all of you who are watching. Why can't we get back to all those days where we as a community are raising our children? Why can't we do that? Why can't we do that? What is your child doing? What is your child doing? What is your child doing? That's a question that most parents cannot answer, because we can only answer that question when we say, we can only say, but I watch TV with them when I come back home in the evening. I ask them a few questions on the dinner table or the breakfast table. The question is, what are they doing in your absence? If you're banking on what they tell you, well, I got news for you. You don't know what they're doing. Do you know what is happening in social media? Do you know the things that are happening on Facebook and Instagram at night? Do you know some of the children are dancing naked in very many spaces? Do you know that? And yet some children are dancing naked and their parents could be sleeping in the next room. And that is all over for everybody to see. Do you know an under 18 boy, under 18 girl is doing these things online? Oh, but my child is not on social media. Well, I got news for you. Your child may be called Jen, but on social media, she's called Trufosa. You got to open your eyes. These children are way ahead of us, and you can't just be laid back and say, no, it's okay. Or when I ask them questions, they will tell me. When I ask them questions, they will tell me. Well, they're clever. Don't raise your children thinking your children are the best. Oh, they cannot do anything wrong. It's easy to say, oh, it's only that, this neighbor's children are spoiling my children. Well, your children could be the ones spoiling them. Children are having sex at a very young age because they're exposed to this thing called these gadgets, this social media, this Instagram, Facebook, and they can go on Google and type whatever they want. And now they're doing things in these spaces. The question is, what are your children doing? What are your children doing? What are they doing? They're having sex right under our noses. The time has come to say, let's go back to serious parenting. Do you know there are people who hang around malls to pray at small girls, small boys, to go and defile them? That's all they do. Because now children are going to the malls. Oh, mommy, daddy, can I go to the mall? Okay, fine, but as long as you're back home by 4, and then you call them, and then when you call them, they're like, oh, can you see me? We're at the mall. This is Francine. This is Philippa. And then you see them and you trust because you've seen them at the mall. Then you will not get in touch with them another 4 or 5 hours. That is where a lot of things are happening. And I'm not saying all children, but I'm just telling you the dangers our children are exposed to. High time we stop becoming too busy for our children. And that is why many people, when they pass on and they leave a lot of wealth for their children, it goes down the drain. In fact, it takes them to drugs and all those things, because we have been too busy to inculcate the right values on our children. We have been too busy to inculcate the right values on our children. Many people are walking around the malls, parking their big cars with tinted windows, looking at these girls. Do you know, if you go to the mall, you will ask yourselves, did these girls, these boys leave their homes dressed like this? In the name of fashion. Well, some leave dressed well, but they change in one of their friends' cars, and then they're picked. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm speaking to parents here. Do you know there are some parents who have children, young, maybe 13-year-old, but you have people older than you parents, who are driving around the malls waiting for your children. When you see a 50-year-old man getting a 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old girl into the car, and they go and defile them, introduce them to drugs, and then they take them back at 3 for you to pick them at 4. And then at 6 or 7 during dinner, that is when you're asking your children, oh, so how was it? How was it? And you wonder. Oh, mom, it was okay. We just went and had ice cream and just walked around and maybe watched a movie. And then, okay, so when do you want to go next? Be careful. Be vigilant. There's a time to be a counselor to your child. There's a time to be a friend. But don't forget, you also need to be the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. The problem with the parents of today is that you want to show your children you are their best friend at all times. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but if you only want for your kids to be praising you, you are in trouble. By the way, sometimes they use that as reverse psychology. Oh, hear me and hear me good. Sometimes they use that as reverse psychology. When you think, oh, but dad is the best. Dad understands me. Mom understands me. Sometimes it's a good thing. But also be careful, do not be fooled. It can also be an extremely dangerous thing. It's reverse psychology. It makes you put your guards down. Where are you at? What are you doing? Our children are in danger. They're being taken advantage of by people out there. Young boys are being sodomized because we're in a generation of demented and wickedness that is happening. Perilous times where young boys are being molested, young boys are being taken advantage of, are being introduced to drugs. Young boys are also being taken advantage of by older women. It's going to be a short one today. I want to tell you something. Be extremely careful. In this season where we are trying to keep safe, there are others who are taking advantage of this season because your young boys and our young girls are not in school. They are at home. When they're in school, it is secure. When they're at home, some of these demented, wicked people, oh my goodness, are really excited because in their mind, they are not looking at these people as young as their children, young enough to be their children. They are looking at them as sexual objects. Some of the people are selling drugs to our children. or biscuits laced with drugs. Now we have a tablet that they're putting under their tongue. It's a blue one that does not smell but gives them excitement, hyper. And we are too busy to realize, how comes my son, my daughter, your children are not normally this hyper? But of late, they've been hyper. And you dismiss it as excitement because they've been talking to their friends, they've been out and all that, watching a movie or having ice cream or gone for a sleepover. Well, I got news for you. There's drugs that is being taken. These people have covered up their tracks. That it is easy for a parent to know if the child has come back home having taken whiskey because of the smell or some spirits. So what they have done now, because they've realized there's a big market for these young children, they're putting drugs in cakes and in biscuits, and the tablets that do not have a smell, you can't smell them, but the effects are being seen. Do you know now? Girls are putting tampons on, dipping in vodka and inserting in them, so the effect goes directly to their stream. But we are too busy. Sometimes we want our children to go to sleepovers, and all you need to do is say, okay, fine, I just need to talk to the father or the mother of that girl or that boy you're going for sleepovers. Well, I got news for you, ladies and gentlemen. Sleepovers have sometimes been the reason kids have been molested. Oh, sleepovers are a den of wickedness. Not all again, but I'm talking about these times we are living in. Some of the children are introduced to immoral sexual behavior in these sleepovers. Some of these so-called parents have ended up defiling children because they have been trusted. Oh, some of these children teach each other some very wicked behavior during these sleepovers. And sometimes parents gladly give their children away for sleepovers, not because they want, but not because the children are boring, no, but because you want to do your own thing, you want your space. Sometimes asking for your own space is literally sending your son, your daughter into the lion's den. Would rather sit and spend time with them, inculcate values, have them enjoy our presence. And sometimes when your children tell you you are old-fashioned, it is a compliment that you're actually doing the right thing. But if they keep on telling you, oh, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, oh, sometimes you got to check yourself. Sometimes you got to check yourself and ask yourself, is this from a place of I'm good in my discipline? Or is it because when it comes to that particular parent, the children can get away with anything? Tonight, mine was just to tell you, well, our children are in danger. But if only we can open our eyes, we will protect them. We will inculcate the right values. It is time to wake up, smell the coffee. Not everybody out there telling you, oh, you have a great family. Oh, what's your daughter's name? How old is your daughter? What's your son's name? How old is your son? They're not asking from a good place. They're trying to see where they would place them. Stop trusting very easily. Run away from the so-called sleepovers. Please, don't try to be a new age kind of parent. New age kind of parent is killing our children. I hope we will open our eyes, wake up, and it's time to be counselors, to be friends, but also do not forget that you must be the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of your family. There's a time to laugh, there's a time to give them a shoulder to lean on to, but there's a time to be a disciplinarian. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you will grow old, sit under a tree with a lot of stress because of the pain and anguish the children will bring into your life. And it's not because you would not have done anything about it, but in those yesteryears, you're too busy investing for them and not investing in them. God bless you. Until next time, I am your coach and your friend, Robert. Burale.